Hello, you curious cookies. I'm glad you're here. This idea I'm about to touch is taken from an amazing book called Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. In this episode, I am going to talk about how you actively sabotage your life. How we humans see this reality differently and how a little tiny shift in your attitude can be a tasty slice of magic. Let us begin. First, I want to say that why I do these videos is because I am also curious. I, like you, have lived on this earth for a while and have experienced some good and some bad. Most of it comes from interacting with other humans such as yourself. So knowing how humans work is pretty important, don't you think? The book was a long read and I don't want to forget anything. That's why I am studying these laws and bringing them to you in tight little nice packages. So if you find any value in my words, then please feel free to subscribe and hey, maybe leave a happy little comment. But enough of dilly-dallying. Here's the gist. Don't ever assume that other people see this world the same way as you do. This world, this reality is plastic, malleable, it's subjective. In simple words, you, me, we see this world differently. And it all comes down to your attitude. Well, of course, there's your beliefs and your biases and your prejudices and your knowledge, general knowledge base, or lack of knowledge. But we will focus on your attitude, because your attitude is the lens through which you see this world. In the book there is a nice emphasizing story. So let me take you to Paris while I read it to you. A young American must spend a year studying in Paris. He is somewhat timid and cautious and prone to feelings of depression and low self-esteem, but he's genuinely excited by this opportunity. Once there, he finds it hard to speak the language. And the mistakes he makes and the slightly derisory attitude of the Parisians make it even harder for him to learn. He finds the people not friendly at all. The weather is damp and gloomy, the food is too rich. What does that even mean, too rich? Like, does the food have too much money or too many flavors? Or silly French. But even Notre Dame Cathedral seems disappointing. The area around it is so crowded with tourists. Although he has pleasurable moments, he generally feels alienated and unhappy. He concludes that Paris is overrated and rather unpleasant place. Now imagine the same scenario, but with a young woman who is more extroverted and has an adventurous spirit. She's not bothered by making mistakes in French, nor by the occasional snide remarks from Parisians. She finds learning the language a pleasant challenge. Others find her spirit engaging. She makes friends more easily, and with more contacts her knowledge of French improves. She finds the weather romantic and quite suitable to the place. To her the city represents endless adventures, and she finds it enchanting. I've been to Paris 2 times. Once it was really cold and once it was really hot. And yeah, I must admit, there were a lot of tourists back then and the Parisians were a bit cold to English-speaking people. And the food was a bit too rich, right? But I did propose to my wife there and it was so very, very romantic. So it was simply quite amazing. But did you get the idea from the story of how the students' attitude shaped their overall experience? Now think about your life. How has your attitude towards someone or something shaped your reality? When you are on a vacation or a trip, do you focus on the positive or the negative? Do you let some tiny insignificant event ruin your day? Understand that we humans have been programmed by our past events. We like to carry our childhood traumas with us. We accumulate disappointments and negative emotions over time. We do very little in dealing with releasing this old baggage. And a lot of people cannot deal with this stress, so we seek escape from it through drugs and alcohol and other addictions. Well, not always though. I used to have this big video game addiction, and I don't have any childhood traumas, but I just simply think that slaying dragons is more interesting than the daily routine, right? But our outlook on life is determined by our attitude we hold. And your attitude comes through your beliefs and your biases that come from the past that no longer exists. Like two people, pretty much the same, maybe twins, brothers, they can spend a day together doing exactly the same thing and have different experiences. That's wild, right? And the cool thing about it is that we can change our attitudes and our experiences. Don't let your mind hold you prisoner. So here's some homework for you, you curious cookie. Start by making a choice that you want to become the master of your reality. Then forgive yourself for your mistakes. Let the past be the past. It's gone. The future starts now. Then you have to become light-hearted. Find that childlike you again, that sincere, that curious, that fun you. Then you gotta stop judging other people. Look within, change your reality, and the people around you will change, right? You also have to stop reacting. Like, bad stuff happens all the time, it's inevitable. Simply observe and then take action. And finally, take nothing personally. Like, the people who try to hurt you, they are in pain. This world is not evil. Tsunamis and earthquakes and wildfires and famine which ends thousands of lives is not evil. The world simply is. And people are not inherently evil. They almost never want to hurt you personally. They are just simply following the program, and you have to learn how to control and rewrite that program. Otherwise you are living your life on autopilot. And this world is just simply too amazing and too short for you to let that happen. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next week.